Okay, so now we have our cube. Let's add some geometry to this cube now. So as we said, features, as in our cube or a hole, maybe there's a hole in this cube or another part coming out of this cube, features are made from sketches. In order to make another feature, we need to give it another sketch. Okay, we need to create another sketch. So I'm going to say, out of the side of this cube, we want a cylindrical shape protruding out the side of this cube. Okay. So because it's on this face, when you look at it, you would say, which face is this part protruding from? This feature protruding from? So we're going to click on Sketch, and we're going to do a sketch on this face here. So you can put a sketch on a plane, as we did, or on a face of an existing feature. Okay, so we're going to put our sketch on this face, and you can see it's highlighted, and when we left click it, just like it did with a plane, the software will orientate so that we're looking directly down on the face we chose. Okay, and now I'm going to click circle, and this is a center point circle. There's different types of, there's a tangent circle. For now, just stick to center point circle, but this is the one you'll use most of the time. So if you left click that, the first point, like with the center rectangle, first point it's asking is the circle. Okay, so if you go near the center point, you'll see again it snaps, it goes green and snaps to it, so we can click that, and then if we pull this out, it's asking for one dimension, which is the diameter of our circle. So we're going to use 25. Type in 25, enter, and we have a 25mm diameter circle. Okay. If we click Finish Sketch, it will take us back to our 3D view, but we'll see our sketch is here. And we have a sketch on its own in this box. Okay. We'll click on Extrude again. Again, because we only had one sketch available, not being used by anything else, it's guessed that. It said 10mm. If we change that to 25, it will give us this 25mm protrusion. Okay. What if we wanted what if this wasn't a protrusion at all, but it was a hole? Maybe it was a 25mm hole inside this cube. We would do that exactly the same way with the same sketch. But here under Output, when we click on Extrude, you'll see it as an option for Cut. If you click that, what it's actually doing is it's taking it inside. Okay, now let me show you that again. We click on Cut. In this orientation, there's nothing to cut. It's not going to show anything. So you have to move it. You have to flip it to the other direction. Okay. And you'll see it shows it red. Generally, where it shows red, Inventor is taking something away. It's cutting out. Okay. When we were creating geometry, it's in green. It's adding material. To cut, it's taking away material, so it shows it in red. Okay. If I was to OK that, when we pan around, we would have a hole in our object. Okay. I'm going to go. Now here we end up with two extrusions. If you don't click, you just move your mouse over it, you can see which one's which. That one is a cube, that one is the hole. So I'm going to click that and right click, edit feature. I didn't actually want the hole, I was just showing you, I want that protrusion there, so we need to bring it out the other side and select OK. And we have our 25mm diameter circular protrusion coming out there. Now I want this on the other side as well. I want another one exactly the same coming out of this face. We could go through the same thing, we could put a sketch on this face and we could extrude it, but this is a benefit of drawing symmetrically around our plane. Up here we have a mirror command. Okay, so we can click that. It's asking us what feature do you want to mirror? We can click our protrusion by hovering over it. It should go green when we hover over it and blue when we select it. We don't want to select our cube, just this. It's asking us for a mirror plane. Now, which plane do you want to mirror this across? We can select our YZ plane, and because we drew symmetrically, you can see it gives us a little preview here. We click OK. There we go. Because this is symmetrically, we can mirror things. If this was this is just a circular protrusion, but if we had some complex pattern or geometry going on this side of the cube and on the other side, it's so much easier to do things once. We could have done all that complicated geometry on this one side and then just said mirror the lot, and it would have done it. Okay. The benefit of working that way is maybe these actually they need to be 10mm diameter, not 25. We can go to the extrusion, we can drop down to the sketch, we can right click edit sketch, and we can double click the dimension and change it to 10mm. Okay, so now it's 10mm diameter, and if we click on finish sketch, not only does it change this one, but it also changes this side because it's just a mirror. Okay, so this is how you really need to get used to working in Inventor. You don't want to be doing the same thing multiple times. If you find yourself creating the same geometry with sketches and things multiple times, you're probably doing it the long way around. Do things once and then mirror them or copy them. Create one part and put multiple parts in an assembly, but just draw one part and then just copy multiple parts. Do one feature like this and then mirror it. Okay, it's the same all the way through. You're just drawing things once and copying them or mirroring them. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Again, it's one of those things it will become clear as you learn Inventor. But generally, if you find yourself redrawing the same geometry you've already drawn, you're probably doing it not necessarily wrong, but the long way around. And we try to cut down on that, not just because it makes your files smaller, but it just makes things easier to change later on. If these were two separate extrusions, not related, not mirrored, we would have had to change that to 10mm and that to 10mm. That would have been two actions. It's not the end of the world in this case, it's a very simple part, but if this was a complicated part inside a complicated subassembly inside another assembly, you can see it quickly gets complicated to change things. Okay, so that's why we try and work symmetrically around planes wherever we can. It's just general good practice, but hopefully that makes sense why we do it now. Okay, and you've also learnt to use the mirror command, which we'll use again and again. But that's a basic part now, very basic. We're going to keep adding to this in the next chapter. We're going to learn to use some other commands and do some advanced sketching, that kind of thing. Okay, so I'll see you in the next chapter.